Okay, hey everybody, how you doing? I am doing my first video in my new studio setup here, so I hope you can hear me better. Got my new microphone, and just get into it. I am documenting smaller parts of organized stalking and harassment to show the details that these people take to go after a targeted individual. So this is, if you've ever read the Art of War by Sun Tzu, it talks about death by a million paper cuts. And this is what they do to a target, is manipulate situations that are frustrating, antagonizing, that don't make sense. You know, why would this person do this? Why are they coming after me? And situations that would make you sound really trivial or delusional, schizophrenic, paranoid if you start complaining about some of these things, but they're small attacks repeatedly over and over and over throughout the day. And these attacks through... Now, I'm not an expert on neuro-linguistic programming yet, but the way that it works is you are shown an object, told a phrase, something repeatedly over time by people unknown to you. They'll come up to you, start a conversation. They will find a way to present this, whatever this thing is. So like the other day when I was driving, all the people with the thin blue line sticker on the back of their car, license plate, were the ones that were involved in gang stalking me that day. So throughout my drive, somebody with that sticker on their car with the thin blue line would either cut me off, get in front of me, hit their brakes, be aiming their phone at me, doing one of the weird perp things to let me know, hey, we're doing this. And as I'm pulling into my neighborhood, they build you up, build you up, build you up, let you know, hey, we're poking at you right now. We're the kid in the back of the classroom poking on your back. We're the ones doing this. And so you know, nobody else can see what's going on, but you see this happening, and you're like, there's 10 or 15 people with that thing on the back of their car. We're giving me a hard time today. We're giving me more attention than any person would normally get. And it starts to get aggravating, like, leave me alone. Go away, leave me alone. You're going to cause an accident. Why are you harassing me? And then so you get worked up. By the time you get home, you're just about to pull in your neighborhood. They've got one more of those cars with the little blue stripe. And that guy, he can hardly do anything, but you already know, hey, he's one of them. He's been, he pulled out right as I was coming down the street, got right next to me, looked over a little bit weird. That's one of them. You know, you've been conditioned to understand that. So that's my best explanation of neuro-linguistic programming. So it's how they let you know what they're going to do, or they let you know that an event that is taking place is done by them. When I say them, the stalkers and harassers. So here's just a small example of one of the things that I go through, and this is a very small example, but you can't really explain this program without explaining some of the small things that they do. So that's what I'm here to do. You know, I'm looking at the bigger picture of this whole thing, so I can, I do understand how the whole thing works, but I also have to show the standard operating procedures, the tactics that are used in this. So I have an eBay store. We've got over 16,000 items in our store. I've been doing eBay for, I think, almost 10 years now. Used to own an antique store, done a lot of buying and reselling of vintage and collectible things. So right now we have mostly vintage and collectible caps that maybe somebody went on vacation, right? They're from, say they're from West Chesterton, Fieldville, Iowa, and they go to Palm Springs for a vacation. The only time they've ever been to California, They had a great time. They're back in Iowa, and their hat gets ruined, the one that they got in Palm Springs. They really liked it. They get on eBay, do a search. Hey, look, this guy's got the same one. You know, I can't find it anywhere. They made that one 20 years ago, and they don't make it anymore. So they can go on our store and get it. So speaking of, this one that I'm having an issue with, now this person signaled to me before they made this purchase. Usually when somebody seems to be overly excited about their item, they tell me that their grandpa is about to die and that they really are happy that they found this item. It's really important to them. Thank you for providing it. You know, a lot of, and it's like, this hat sold, I sold it for like, let's see, $10. You know, and I'm like, I get it. Nostalgia runs the collectible and antique business. You know, people have memories from when they were a kid, or from a positive thing that happened in their life, and they want to get that item, and it helps them with that memory, and it feels good. You know, that's why you see old guys buying pedal cars on eBay for $5,000 that are restored because they had one when they were a kid. Anyway, you get the idea. Nostalgia runs the antique and collectible industry. So this person did this one. They were messaging me, and they were super excited about this Palm Springs, California hat. Didn't seem right. So I get it packed up, get it shipped out, and here, let's see. Here's what it looked like. So you get a little better light there. All right, so nice and clean. Got good photos of it. See the inside of it. Okay, so there's the bottom of it. All right, so you get the idea. They just sent me an email. Here, I'll just read it. And this is, no, I can't say the name. Oh no! Exclamation point. I'm so disappointed. I really want this cap. Although my wife was against me having another cap, because from looking at your photos, it did not reflect any damages whatsoever. You only pointed out that there is a small dark dot in the photos from the camera sensor. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading this. I'll make it bigger. As you can see from the photos, I attached it as damaged with stains. I can only assume that your photos were of another cap, or it got damaged after you took the photos. With that said, I would never have wanted this cap if I had known it was damaged. How can this issue be resolved? So this is something that they do to me over and over. I send this, I mean, they're in a carpeted enclosed room inside the house, all of our items. And I personally pack every single one of these up. So now there's two things that could have happened here. Well, this person knows that, you know, that this person is a perp for sure. They've done the same thing that a whole bunch of other people have done identically like this. And now people do this on eBay to get free items. So I'm not confusing being intentionally harassed on eBay with somebody just trying to get something free. So these are two different things. People do that, but see, when they do it with one account, they end up getting shut down because eBay can see the repetition. So if somebody does this in a group and they all just take turns, hey, you do one and I'll do one. Imagine if you have 10,000 people in that group and everybody just takes a turn taking a shot. They can't show a connection between those people because they're all over the place. They can text each other on the phone or whatever, say, hey, here's our target, let's go for it. You take a shot, you take a shot, you take a shot. None of us are connected, and nobody will ever be the wiser. So, yeah, here are the... Sorry, I'm trying to get this photo open a little better. Come on, photo. All right, so anyway, they send me a picture of this hat. It's got, like, it looks like somebody took it out of the bag, ran over it with a truck. And it's faded out. So this is their old hat. So there is a small chance that this person is just trying to get over on me, but because of the way that they did this and the repetition of this same exact thing happening over and over, it lets me know that this person is part of the organized stalking and harassment. So let's call eBay. All right. Looks like I'm editing this video.
Thanks for contacting eBay Merchant Support. My name is Rob. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Rob. How you doing? This is Michael Barden.
Hi. Can I verify the address on the account, please?
Sure.
So, is this for your account hats around the world?
Yes, it is. So can you say that again? You don't see a flag for what?
Oh, I see. So you're an anchor store. So I need to put in a request for a flag to be added onto your account, so that way we don't question you're calling in. But that's not your fault. That's something.
Okay, wait. This is something brand new I've never heard of. Can you explain to me what you're talking about?
So normally when an account is supported by us, there's a little flag that says MSO supported. Yours doesn't have that flag on it, so automatically leads somebody like me to assume you don't have our support.
Oh, wow.
So I need to put a request to have that added on, so that way we don't question that is all.
That's so weird, because I've been on eBay for like 8 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you've had an anchor store since at least July. So that flag should be there, and it's not. And I'll get that added on, so that way nobody else has this conversation with you.
Okay, that's cool. I appreciate it. How often does something like that happen, if you don't mind me asking?
Actually happens quite often recently, where I've had to turn away calls.
Okay. All right. Just curious. I'm doing some research on some different stuff that has to do with stats, so I just ask questions like that. So, all right. This issue that I've got right here, this learning experience that I'm working on here, actually got a message from this person, and they sent me a photo of an item that is really stained and dirty, and that's not the one that I sent them. So I'd like you to maybe possibly check out the photos that I have on my item, and then check out the email that they sent, and if you could help me with that, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, so what's the item number?
It is 121-957-557913.
Okay, so what's going on with this?
I sent them a clean, nice item, and they sent me pictures of a dirty one, and they're saying that it showed up this way. So the only thing I can think of is, I don't know, was it taken out of the package at the post office and they ran it across the floor or something? Because I didn't. Or
the photos from the camera sensor, as you can see from the photos I attached, is damaged with stains. I can only assume that your photos were of another cap, or it got damaged after you took the photos. With that said, I would have never wanted this cap if I had known it was damaged. How can this issue be resolved?
Yeah, we wouldn't have sent it out like that if it didn't say, you know, if we sell a hat from like the 1930s and it's damaged, it's worth putting on there because it's you know, collectible. But something like this, I wouldn't even have listed this if it was damaged like that. So there's only two scenarios. Now I'm what's called a targeted individual. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that, but I actually have things messed with by USPS. Items damaged, and they actually gaslight me. I'm not sure if you know what that means, but so that's part of the reason why I'm documenting some of this stuff. So that's 99% what this is part of organized stalking and harassment. And this is intentional to cause me an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds. You should be like, wow, this guy sounds really crazy. But I actually have a website, barredin.us, and you go to any of my social media and see any of my interviews with like former CIA agents talking about organized stalking and harassment through compartmentalized groups that are funded through the government. I'm actually, I'd almost call myself an expert on it. So you should question me, and then you should check that out. Check out some of my interviews to verify what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, but as far as this phone call, I'm just letting you know what I deal with. As far as this phone call, I just like to. This person hasn't opened a request or anything, but I'd like to go ahead and just be proactive and take care of it now. Because this has happened. If you look at my my call-in record, my previous calls, this happens quite a bit. And all of these hats, I've got over 16,000 of them. They're stored in we're in a 3,000 square foot house. They're in a loft in a carpeted area on plastic shelves indoors where we live, and they don't go out onto the floor or anything like that. So it's impossible that this hat was sent out like that. I don't allow it.
Okay. Alright, well, so the only thing here's what concerns me, right? I understand what you're saying, I understood every word, I know about all those kinds of different things that happen to different various people for whatever reasons, right? So, eBay policy-wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
The buyer at this particular moment is protected. So, because there's nothing else that shows obviously this kind of damage, right?
It's not the same. It's not. No, hold on. No, excuse me. It's not, sir. Sir, it's not the same hat. If you look at the photos, this one is faded. The one that they sent me photos of is faded by the sun underneath the bill. If you look at the photo of my hat, it's not faded at all. They're taking a photo of a hat that they already owned, and they're trying to replace it with this one and make me pay for it. If this keeps happening, my store will close down because eBay wants to keep protecting the buyer and not investigate organized stalking and harassment. I've talked to the fraud department before. I'm documenting all of this, one piece at a time. I need eBay to look into this.
Okay, so let me investigate the buyer and create a report so that our buyer's management team can take a look at it, okay? Put you on brief hold.
Thank you. I shouldn't do this thing. It's Jewel, but okay, well, we're waiting. I'll read the
Alright, thanks for holding. So I went ahead and filled out my report. I do have to advise you though that, I mean, when I was reviewing this member's account while filling out the report, I don't think anything's going to come of it.
Okay, and I just want to let you know how they do this and get away with it. When you guys investigate one of these a situation, you check the person's history and see if that they have a history of doing this over and over. So imagine if there was a group of, say, 10,000 people. Say everybody belonged to some society that they meet every Tuesday night, right? And they get together and they say, "Hey, this person's our target. We have a society of 10,000 people across the United States. Each one of you is going to take a turn harassing this person. We can communicate outside of eBay and say, this is our target, this is who we're going to go after and harass." And then when eBay researches it, nobody's connected because they're doing this all outside of the eBay system. So just to let you know that that's how that's working. If somebody from the fraud department wanted to contact me and ask me some more questions about that, I can be very helpful with preventing fraud, because fraud and abuse, actually, because that's what's going on here. And actually, it's a violation of U.S. Code 18, Section 241 or 242. If two or more people conspire to harass a person, keep them from their rights as an American citizen, it's actually a felony, and that's what's happening to me right now. And this is a hat, so it seems so trivial. I understand that. But if you've ever read the book Art of War by Sun Tzu, it talks about death by a million paper cuts, and that's how they do this. They harass you. The first time I heard microaggressions, I thought that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard of, and now I completely understand it being targeted, because they do these things to you over and over and over and over. And this is just a small thing. I mean, I deal with this while I'm driving, when I go into stores. So just documenting. I'm sure, I don't know if you don't want to hear this or not, but just letting you guys know, I try to be I usually have a good experience with eBay, and I just kind of take some of these on the chin, and I'm tired of doing that. So I just want to let you guys know what's going on. There's a lot of people dealing with this. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll report the buyer, absolutely, and our buyer risk management team can take a look at it. But, however, I cannot, me personally, I mean, I just did a brief overview. I could not find by this user ID or any others that may or may not have, that they have ever maliciously opened up a return request.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, and maybe it is. Maybe it isn't this person, but they did some pretty good signaling before they purchased this item. I don't know if you might want to look that up and research what that is, signaling. But to let me know that they were going to mess with me, basically. And then this happened. So, okay. Well, hey, I hope that you think I'm a crazy guy and you look this up and do some research.
I mean, is the other theory a possibility? Yes, but it's not something we can prove.
No, I'm already good on the explanation of what this is. I'm just telling you personally, as a person, as a former veteran. I'm not a former veteran. I'm a veteran. I served in the Air Force for 15 years to protect your freedom and your rights. So I'm trying to help people by passing out this information so they can look into it, because it's the same thing that Hitler did with the Stasi police in World War II Germany, and it's very covert in the United States. But when it happens to people, they wish they would have listened. This isn't just like, hey, I'm one of those fear guys, everybody should start prepping. This is something that's happened to me personally, and I'm an advocate, and I put the word out all the time. So I'll let you get back to your job, and I appreciate you listening to me and putting in this request for this. So this person opens up a request. I guess I'm just forced to return their payment.
Yeah, at this time, unless the buyer risk management team finds something I didn't see and decides to remove them from eBay.
Okay. Now, the last time this happened, I called in, and the customer representative looked at the item and then looked at the photos that the person had and was like, yeah, that's impossible. How could that hat be so faded? And the one in your photos, and then looked at all of my transactions and see that that's not something we do either. So, I mean, I do get harassed on a normal basis, and I do have some returns. I literally have had, when I go away to the store, I've had people come in here and steal items out of my home and move things around. It's called gaslighting. So, anyway, I'll quit my lesson on targeted individuals, organized stalking, harassment, and all that good stuff. But it really is something you should just, when you get home, take a look at that.
Anything else I can assist you with while you have me online?
Nope. That's
all right,
it.
well, thanks for giving the opportunity, and you have a one fresh day then, okay?
Okay, thank you. You too. We needed some subtitles. Usually eBay, I usually get somebody really good on the phone on eBay. I used to say, God, these people have to have college educations. They're really professional, and they can think outside of the box and solve problems for me. So that's, I'm not doing this video to put down eBay or to say that they're involved in organized stalking harassment. Although I have had some employees that I've called in, 100% for sure, do directed conversation and just gaslight me, give me a hard time intentionally. Most of the time it's great. Most of the time it's great. So eBay is a good thing. This is nothing negative about eBay. That guy was kind of unpleasant. But he's getting all this stuff thrown at him, and it's just, this is over a hat, and he's probably like, what the hell is going on? But that's why I tell people, hey, listen, you should think I'm a crazy guy saying this. This sounds absurd. But research it. Please. Just do a Google search. Millions of hits will pop up. All right, so that's just one very, very small way, long explanation for a very small way that I am harassed in my business. It holds me down. It keeps me from moving forward, because just say this one thing happens 5 times in a month, and it happens that many times or more, and then you've got, let's just put it this way, this is one of about 10,000 different ways that these people have to just poke it in a little bit, irritate you a little bit on a mass scale. So I guess I'll be returning that person's money, even though I sent them, I don't know, did I show a picture of this? That's what I sent. There's the photos they sent me. This is the hat you sent. This is what you sent. Don't say you didn't. So either the post office took it out of the bag, ran it across the floor, and sent it to these people, or these people are just gang stalkers. They've never had a problem with this before. Well, guess what? That's because they're only doing it once, and the other, how many ever people in their group are taking a turn too, and then they won't mess with that for a long time. Okay, I don't know if I can explain any more about a damn hat. I'm sorry to listen to me talk about a hat, but it's not about the hat. That's what to get you to focus on, hey, this guy's complaining about this tiny little thing. So just imagine that times 10,000, 24/7 harassment in different ways. And I'm going to get into some of the things I wasn't even going to talk about in some of my new videos. I'm going to talk about some of the technology. And I have steered clear from that because they're just waiting to give me a technical diagnosis of being crazy, because I am calling out the truth. So I'm steered away from that for a while, and no more. So here we go. Get ready for some interesting stuff. Way more interesting than this gaslighting through my store. Speaking of gaslighting, I'm going to call right after I get done with this video somebody that's going to be one of the first guests on my show, and if you listen, you will know exactly what gaslighting is. This person explains it perfectly, has been through it, and has literally written a book on it. You need to know what gaslighting is before you understand what organized stalking and harassment is. So that's like foundation step 1. So we'll go over that. We'll go over that soon. Thanks everybody for showing up. Have a great day.